Will artificial intelligence replace CPAs? We asked a chatbot and a human what they think. This is the IssuesWatch Podcast. Hi, I'm Don Meyer, Chief Marketing Officer at the New Jersey Society of CPAs, and welcome to the IssuesWatch Podcast. In late 2022, a new artificial intelligence, or AI tool, called ChatGPT exploded into the marketplace. Since then, it's been mentioned in hundreds of online articles, in chat rooms, and in the media. With me now to discuss ChatGPT, artificial intelligence, the impact on CPAs, and what we can expect from our future robot overlords is Sean Stein-Smith, a member of the NJCPA Board of Trustees, an assistant professor at Lehman College, and a frequent speaker on all things technology. He's also the host of the technology episodes of the IssuesWatch Podcast, but we're turning the tables on him today. Welcome, Sean.
Absolutely, Don. Happy to be here.
Great. Now, Sean, normally I develop questions for these podcasts while researching the topic or our guest, but why do that when I can simply ask the chatbot? So I asked ChatGPT how I should begin a podcast about ChatGPT's impact on the accounting profession, and it said this: start with an introduction to ChatGPT, explaining what it is, its uses, and its impact on various fields. So let's start there. Can you give an overview of ChatGPT for those people who aren't familiar with it, and what are some other similar AI-assisted tools?
Absolutely, Don. And so at the core of the idea, ChatGPT, it's a AI chatbot, right? That is running on pretty much a pre-trained, pre-educated algorithm to answer questions and prompts as they are input into the little chat functionality. And so it is extremely interesting, I think, that even though AI and AI augmented bots, be it Siri, Cortana, the whole host of other household goods, have had AI and that interactive aspect built into them now for the last 4, 5, 6 years, that actually ChatGPT, it is the first mainstream example of it. And it's worth noting that actually it's the first application to gain 100 million users in under 2 months. So wow. It really has hit the mainstream quite a bit, and a big part of that is the interactive conversational manner in which the chatbot can answer prompts. And the impact overall has been obviously quite high profile. The whole ChatGPT conversation, it is a high profile topic talked about on Bloomberg almost every single day. And the impact on aspects like law, accounting, medicine, education. And so it really is early to try to accurately forecast how it'll ultimately play out, but it is definitely causing firms and individuals to have conversations as to how to best integrate tools that are more and more powerful and intuitive to use.
Okay. One thing, when I used it for the first time, I was amazed at how easy it was to
absolutely.
use. And the other thing that I'd heard, and I experienced this because I was trying to figure out how to phrase the questions I wanted to ask ChatGPT in order to come up with questions for you.
Sure.
And I did see an element of, kind of garbage in, garbage out. Like if you don't ask the question the right way, you're not going to get the result that you want. But I guess that's pretty typical.
Yeah, and excellent point there, Don. That all that it is it's a chatbot, right? Now it's a well-educated, well-funded chatbot, right? Thanks to the $10 billion investment that the parent company just got from Microsoft back earlier in 2023. But yeah, it is a tool, and a powerful tool at that. But the end users, us, have to know how to use it. And so just a quick anecdote here. I actually first used ChatGPT. I was at the airport and I was trying to figure out if my flight was going to be canceled. And so it was a bit of a process trying to ask that question in the right way to have the correct answer and to avoid getting more so generalized answers about air flights and air traffic patterns. So yeah, it is 100% a aspect of garbage in, garbage out, as pretty much every IT application is.
Right, exactly. And and it's certainly a work in progress. I heard a story yesterday where I think it was a professor asked ChatGPT to give it the history of a fictional person. So they made somebody up. They said, tell me about the Belgian philosopher, and they made up a name, and ChatGPT actually made up a bio using made up facts about this person. So obviously it's not perfect. It's certainly not perfect.
No. Yeah.
All right. So I did ask ChatGPT, what questions should I ask a CPA during a podcast about ChatGPT's impact on the accounting profession? And it actually came up with some really good ones. It probably gave me, I don't know, 10 or 12. We're going to limit it, this conversation to say like 3 or 4 of them. But let's see how you would answer these questions. So this is the first one. Could ChatGPT replace human accountants in the future? I think that's a question a lot of our viewers and listeners are probably wondering about.
Absolutely. And so probably the best answer to that is that ChatGPT will absolutely augment and automate certain processes, right? Be it doing baseline research, doing entries, or trying to export financial data out of various in-house ERP systems into consistent, comparable external financial statements. But in terms of the real higher level work, right, which all of us know that a core theme at every conference is how to stop doing those rote tasks over and over again and to become that trusted business partner. That aspect is very, very hard to train any kind of bot to do. And so while tasks and processes are going to be automated and augmented by ChatGPT and other applications going forward, that the core value add of a CPA to a client or in-house colleagues isn't really doing the entries, right? It's trying to glean and to pull out of those entries what those entries mean as to how the business operates now and going forward, and to help those clients and or internal colleagues plan out for the future, which AI at this point is unable to do. So it'll definitely impact your audit, tax, and sort of in-house folks, but it is not going to render them obsolete.
One thing I had heard yesterday, and it was in reference to attorneys, but I think it's applicable to accountants and CPAs as well. What the article said was that AI will not replace accountants and CPAs, but accountants and CPAs who use AI will replace accountants and CPAs who don't use AI.
All said. Yep. Yeah. And so and sort of, if you actually look back, right, this whole AI ChatGPT thing, it is an extremely hot topic now, but it's only the most recent iteration of how CPAs and their field have had to integrate more and more technology and automation.
Now, we've been talking about how amazing ChatGPT is and what it can do. What are some of the limitations of ChatGPT in performing accounting tasks? And what's interesting to me is that ChatGPT came up with that question. So I guess ChatGPT even recognizes its own limitations when it comes to accounting tasks.
And I'd say self-awareness is always a good thing to have, right?
Yeah.
No, but
maybe not with AI. I don't know.
not yet at least, right? Well, we want to have it trained first.
Yeah, that's the basis of Terminator, I think.
Exactly. Good point there. No, but I would say that the top 2 or 3 obstacles or the limitations that I've seen personally trying to use it and heard from other just external conversations is that, one, it's that garbage in, garbage out, right? That basically no matter how vast a database it has to draw from, it can only answer the questions as they are actually given. So, 1, garbage in, garbage out. And 2, that it isn't always able to ascertain the nuance behind a question or to accurately compare 2 or 3 different options. So asking the bot to answer a question on ASC standard XYZ, it will absolutely have that answer for you. But if you are asking it, if given this client and these external sets of information, which I'll come back to later, Don, how can we apply that ASC XYZ. That is where there is still a bit of a obstacle in terms of trying to get actionable business answers. And then three, that that the individuals who are trying to make the best use of ChatGPT don't always know what it knows, and then also aren't really always trained as to how to interpret its answers, right? Because there have been multiple cases where it'll answer the question as it's given and be 80% right, 90% right, and have one or two important facts in there incorrect. So that could render the overall answer more or less helpful.
Right. That makes a lot of sense. Now, whenever there's a new technology tool, going back to when email was introduced, and then of course phones and apps and so forth, what inevitably comes up is data security and data privacy. So, what are the potential risks of using ChatGPT in accounting in relation to data security and data privacy?
There were quite a few, Don, and so it's also worth highlighting that pretty much every large financial institution and quite a few large tech firms have actually banned their employees from using ChatGPT at work, right? Because for us as individuals, asking it for the best recipe for a cake is fine, but as an employee at a possible competitor for Microsoft, right? That is not really a great place to get answers from. And so that is probably the one largest issue right now, is that OpenAI is a company, and that company is not controlled directly, but it's heavily partnered with Microsoft. And so all of these interactions, all of these prompts, improving how the chatbot answers, mind you, are also being piped directly into that Microsoft cloud. And so that is the real thing, that it's going to be, awfully, I would say, awfully tempting to have probably folks who just entering into the field to then turn to either the ChatGPT or some other chatbots to actually get easy answers or to ask questions. And there is going to have to be a process in place, and it will evolve over time from firm to firm and tool to tool to try to create a framework as to what questions to ask and then what items to not ask. But I would say that the top issue right now is that employees of companies asking client-directed questions of this chatbot and then possibly giving up or accidentally exposing confidential data to this chatbot, which could be fine for 2, 3, 5 years, but ultimately is a major weakness in the internal controls of either a firm or the external client. So that's the main one. And then two, anytime that there are any questions being asked of an external party, right? But that external party has to be vetted. So just a quick anecdote. If a firm is out there hiring a consulting firm whose expertise is in engineering clients, that firm absolutely runs a check on the firm, on the individuals on that engagement team. No one's doing that here.
All right. So anything new, we are human, unlike ChatGPT. And anytime something new comes up, especially something that is as revolutionary as AI and ChatGPT, I think there's always a little bit of trepidation, a little bit of fear around it. So what skills are essential for CPAs to have in the era of ChatGPT and automation?
Sure. So first, I would say don't panic, and I would say that there is no need or expectation to become a AI expert overnight, right? And that it really isn't so much focusing on the individual tool in question, right? Because I can guarantee you, I don't guarantee much, Don, but I can guarantee you that in 5 years, the mainstream AI chatbot tool isn't going to be ChatGPT. It'll be some other version of it or some other product. And so it's more important in any time of upheaval, right, is to understand what the core functionality of these tools are. And so in the case of of chatbots, ChatGPT, and others, it's to basically serve as a repository to answer factual questions and to give us insights and to give us information, and then to allow us to then go apply that information to our individual ad hoc facts and circumstances. And so, it is not that much different from other pieces of information and other competencies that have been encouraged over the last 5, 10, 20 years. Basically, how to analyze data, how to work with data, and then how to apply data, quantitative, sort of static information, to the individual customized problems of either your external client or your internal colleagues. So basically, data analytics, using data, cleaning data, understanding it, and then ultimately being able to do all of that, right? To analyze the data, understand it, and then have the ability to then have a conversation with a person who is not an expert in that data, to be able to communicate what all of this means for the client today and going forward.
And that's the essence of what CPAs do, right? They take information other people don't understand and they present it in a way that a layman can understand.
Absolutely right.
Yeah. So I know there are going to be, because every time a new technology comes up, there's a cohort of our members who basically say they're going to wait it out. They say, I'm going to retire before this is ever going to factor into my day-to-day job. But we have thousands and thousands of members who probably want to use this technology. They see the advantages of it. So how do you think ChatGPT is going to affect training and education of future accountants, either education and training about AI or just education and training in general, how AI could be used to augment that?
Sure. So as a person who's in the educational field, right, the onboarding of AI is definitely having an impact as we speak. So on the one hand, anybody and everybody who's in accounting, audit, tax industry has to understand at the base level, right? Not at the expert coding level if you don't want to, but they have to understand how AI works and sort of how AI is different versus other types of automation, right? Because AI can mean a whole host of things. And while ChatGPT is the most current iteration of AI in the mainstream, it's actually only an extremely narrow application of it. And so one, all of us are going to have to become more comfortable going forward with one, the actual types of AI out there, weak, strong, cognitive computing, and then building on that, how that is going to change certain tasks and job processes, right? That overall, that the true value add of a CPA in any capacity won't be altered all that much. How we get there is ultimately going to change. And so on a in-house training side, be it in the firm, educational CPE credits, all the rest, what the two main items are going to be is one, how to integrate AI into a existing process from a control point of view, and then how that is going to interoperate, talk to other IT systems at the company. And then two, how to educate our colleagues and external clients as to how this integration is going to change how we as a CPA handle data, handle information, handle interactions, then also what our clients have to do, right? And that a whole bunch of our conversations as a CPA field obviously focus on how it impacts us, but our job is to help our clients make better choices. And so that's going to be a big part of our role going forward. Obviously, we have to understand it, but also our job is also going to be how to help our clients get a handle on this too, and to try to figure out how, if, and then when to integrate it into their operations.
I think that's a great point to end on. I mean, everything eventually becomes a service, right? So, technology was something that all accounting firms, CPAs, companies in general had to integrate into their own day-to-day activities. But for accounting firms, it's become a very lucrative service offering that they're able to do. So I think rather than looking at ChatGPT as a threat, it could be very much looked at as an opportunity.
Absolutely right. And if you're able to free up your in-house staff manager level, all the rest to focus on higher level tasks. That is a big part of solving the pipeline issues, which obviously are huge. Right. And then two, how do you get talent and how do you hold on to it? One is higher pay, and two is higher engagement in the work on a everyday basis, and by having ChatGPT or some other tool to help automate or to augment those lower level, less fun, less profitable tasks, that helps us as the humans go up that value ladder.
Right. Well, I feel like, Sean, in about a year, we're probably going to have you back to talk about whatever the next hot tool is. Maybe it'll be a new version of ChatGPT, maybe GPT, maybe it'll be something else. But this is a fascinating conversation. Certainly not the last time we're going to talk about it. Really appreciate your time, and thanks so much for joining us today.
Awesome, Don. Thank you so much for having me.
Thank you all for listening and watching. For more information and events about artificial intelligence and robotic process automation, visit njcpa.org/hub/AI.